Want to know how I set up 7 dates in one day without even leaving my room? And look, I might be an above average looking white guy, but I've helped thousands of men around the world get better results on dating apps than I do. But this didn't happen overnight. A little over 7 years ago, I went through a nasty breakup with the girl I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. After a 4-year relationship, she dumped me over text. It hit me like a truck. To ease my loneliness, I did what any guy would do. I downloaded Tinder to seek some female validation and get my confidence back. But my Tinder experience was agonizing. During my first week, I got completely humbled. 4 matches and 2 likes. And it didn't get better. The few women I did match with were a major downgrade from my ex. And even if they texted back, it felt impossible to convert them into dates. And the one date that I did go on, not only was I catfished by a woman twice my size, but my confidence was terrible. I was stuttering, nervous as fuck, and I could barely hold a conversation. I was absolutely miserable. Why was I so undesirable on these apps while other guys got decent results? Why were so many of my friends crushing it on dating apps while I'm over here literally taking any date that I can get? I had to figure this out. Something needed to change. Fast forward to 7 years later, I'm able to consistently pull 3 new dates per week without even leaving my room. Today, I can land dates pretty much whenever I want. I have a roster of hundreds of women who are only 1 text away, and clapping cheeks with absolute baddies of all races, cultures, in any country around the world. Now, what exactly happened during those 7 years? How did a guy who was scraping 2 to 3 low quality matches per week and barely able to hold a conversation with a woman be able to get over 1,000 matches in less than 6 weeks and go on 7 dates in 12 hours without approaching a single woman in public? Well, in a minute, I'm gonna reveal to you the secret cheat code that I've crafted and refined for 7 years, which has helped me finally get women on dates. It's called the 3-step match to date process, which you can use to be able to go out and sleep with multiple women a week and have an active dating life. Whether your goal is to get a girlfriend, a potential wife, to finally lose your virginity, or you just want to clap cheeks with a bunch of baddies. And the best part is, it doesn't require you to cold approach in public, spend a lot of money going to clubs to meet women, or spend money on premium features like gold, boosts, and super likes. This changes everything. No matter how you look, where you're from, or how you grew up, you can achieve the exact same results. And you'll be able to do this in 2 weeks, guaranteed. Listen, figuring out the game is not easy. It's very likely that you have little to no skills for approaching women, and your confidence is too low to even try. And the most frustrating thing is, you don't have the time or energy to be going through trial and error. Going out drinking all night, testing out different pickup lines, being scared of appearing creepy, speaking in stutters, and going through tens to hundreds of rejections just to get good at pulling girls. It takes up a lot of time, energy, resources, and money. You might be a busy professional or a university student focusing on your dreams and goals. So going out in public to approach women is not ideal for you. This is why dating apps are the best strategy today to meet women. They remove the difficulty and time consumption to achieve the same results. And the best part is, you already know from the jump that she's interested in you because she swiped right. However, using these apps, especially as a beginner, can be extremely painful. Look, bro, I've been there. You're swiping for hours but not getting any matches, paying for premium features only to find war pigs in your likes section. Your small amount of matches are either catfishes, bots, or women trying to sell you their OnlyFans. And when you do finally match with a decent woman, it's difficult to actually convert her into a date. You're texting her for days only to get ghosted, or she flakes on you the day of the date. Eventually, you start thinking to yourself that Tinder and other dating apps are a scam, that only the top 5% of chads can get a lot of matches and dates. Or maybe you think that texting these women requires too much strategizing, and at the end of it all, it's not even worth it. Trust me, buddy, you're not alone. As a matter of fact, 80% of men struggle with dating apps. I used to be one of them as well. When my girlfriend dumped me after being with her for 4 years, there I was, all alone after spending years dating someone I thought I was gonna spend the rest of my life with. I didn't want to sit around upset forever, wishing things could have gone better. So like any guy would do, I downloaded Tinder and started swiping. But as you know by now, at the beginning, my Tinder experience was an absolute failure. I just didn't understand what I was doing wrong. This was super frustrating, but it lit a fire in me. I never wanted to feel this lonely again. I realized that most people meet on dating apps these days, and these apps aren't going anywhere. I could either make excuses for why dating apps don't work for guys like me, or figure out why some guys get as many dates as they want while others get nothing. I started spending every waking hour mastering the game. I had to learn the secrets to success no matter what. And finally, after 7 years of trial and error, rejections, and all the BS on Tinder, I found the cheat code to get women on dates. And I'm about to share my secrets with you, just like I did with over 1,000 of my students. Like Taylor, for example. Before learning how dating apps work, Taylor was frustrated.
Before joining the program, it was rough. My dating prospects were like non-existent. I didn't pull a single girl the entire time I went through college. I thought the next logical step was, well, let's download a dating app and let's just see what happens.
But for some reason, he just wasn't getting any matches. And he just didn't understand what he was doing wrong.
I thought I was a good looking guy. I thought it was a great profile. I thought my messages were good, but it was depressing. I'd get barely any matches. The girls that I was getting, I would not want to date them.
He spent hours per day swiping endlessly on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. When he did get a match, he often got ghosted within 3 messages on the dating app.
I was ready to throw in the towel. And I figured like I might as well, treat it like a skill that I can learn before I completely call it off. I just went all in and don't regret it. Got the program, went through the modules, got new pictures, and I just put them up. It was like I was in a new world. It was just like it was almost like scary how many matches I was getting. Literally like overnight, like 100 likes on my Bumble. And I was just like, holy cow, that's just nuts. It's literally a cheat code. It's not fair.
But within just 2 weeks of learning my simple 3-step process, Taylor met his girlfriend and they've been going out ever since.
Like the girl I'm currently going out with, she literally asked me for the second date. So no shit, like, this has never happened to me before. It was just like I had so many options, and the program gave me the ability to go out with girls I actually like. It sounds super shallow, but it's like, if no girl wants you, like, dude, there's a problem. If you're a high value guy and you're doing well with yourself and you're presenting yourself well, then it's like there should be girls that want you. Relationship wise, I never have to go hungry again. Huge confidence booster. I'm a ginger dude. Like, if a ginger can do it, then you can do it too. Like, come on.
So what exactly is the 3-step match to date process, and how does it fix your current situation on dating apps? Well, this system includes 1, the picture and bio formula to get 50 plus matches a week, profile optimization. 2, the SIMP framework to get a woman's number and get the chat with her outside of the dating app. And 3, the ghost-proof SLAP framework to successfully convert her into a first date. And I'm gonna break these frameworks down for you in just a sec. But what I found after years of coaching men is that we struggle with 3 big problems. First off, getting a low number of matches and matching with women who are of absolute low quality. 2, spending hours texting girls only to get ghosted and never making it off the dating app. Or 3, texting for weeks, but every time you try to ask her out, she's busy, forgets to respond, or wants to get to know you better before meeting up. We've all heard that one before. The match to date process is the solution to addressing all 3 of these problems. Listen, dating apps are a numbers game. There are a lot of people on there, but the majority of them are not serious. The truth is, studies show that men make up more than 70% of dating app users. 70% of men to the women's 30%. This is why women have an abundance of options and why it's so easy for them to swipe left and ignore your messages. It's because you easily blend in with the 80% of men who are making the same common mistakes as you and doing the same bare minimum stuff. The remaining 20% are guys who are doing it correctly and standing out from the crowd. And sure, there are men who are super attractive and get carried by their looks, but that's not always the case. It probably makes up for less than 5% of men. There are a ton of average looking guys who who are absolutely crushing it on dating apps. And I've taught thousands of them who've had the same mentality before of not being attractive enough to get women to swipe right or being able to go on dates. Take, for example, Nick. As a 5'6" Japanese guy, Nick felt like the game was rigged against him. His profile was getting less than 5 matches a month, and he felt like giving up.
Had Tinder for almost 5.5 years. In those years, I've had less matches than I did in the first 2 months of remaking the profile.
But with the strategies I'm about to show you, Nick is pulling 5 matches per day and landing multiple dates per week.
For the confidence, it's really improved. The girls are chasing me to talk to me instead of me trying to chase them. If you want the dates and want the matches, it's definitely worth it. They'll pay dividends back in the future through just having happiness, like in your own personal life. It's amazing.
And he's in Toronto, which is one of the toughest cities in the world to meet women. So what exactly is it that you're doing wrong? Well, for one, your profile isn't optimized. You have low quality pictures that don't stand out from the majority of guys in the app. 2, your opening messages are boring and generic and make you blend in with the tens and hundreds of guys that she's already matched with. And 3, you're asking plain platonic job interview questions while texting her, and it forces her to lose interest quickly. After coaching thousands of men around the world, I've discovered that these are the common mistakes that men are making every single time. You might be making one of these mistakes, or maybe all 3, but it doesn't matter. You need to fix all 3 of these big problems in order to make it to the finish line. So I'm gonna break down the match to date process that has helped me and my students be able to bag multiple hot women a week on dating apps. Step 1 is profile optimization, which is basically building a dating app profile that makes it easy for women to swipe right on you. Like I said before, women have an abundance of options, and they basically get a match every time they swipe right. So they become insanely picky when it comes to who they choose to like on the app. What you need to realize is that women view the world from a different lens than men do. Growing up, girls would go to the washroom between classes and take selfies in the mirror together. By the time they're young women, they've mastered their lighting, angles, makeup, and filters, and have a strong understanding of how to take perfect photos that show the best versions of themselves. It's funny, but if you've ever seen a woman's camera roll, she'll have 100 versions of the exact same selfie, but didn't post 99% of them because, oh, this one makes my eyebrow look weird, or I didn't like how the garbage bin in the background of this photo was showing. Women are conditioned to be insanely picky about their own photos. They notice every little detail in less than a millisecond. And because they look at their own photos with this lens, they're looking at your photos in the exact same way. Meanwhile, the average guy picks the 5 to 6 least shitty photos in his camera roll, uses them for his dating profile, and expects hot women to swipe right. But when women swipe on dating apps, they're looking for one red flag, one good reason for them to swipe left. That means your profile is only as good as your worst photo. Think about it. If she saw 2 profiles, one looked like this and the other one looked like this, which one do you think she's gonna swipe right on 99% of the time? This is what 80% of the profiles look like when women are swiping. So the 20% of the time when one of these profiles pops up, she swipes right faster than the speed of light. If you can separate yourself from the majority of men's dating profiles and take pictures that make you look fuckable, you should be pulling at least 25 matches a week, and even more if you spread it across different dating apps. With the profile optimization step, it's structured to help you figure out the common mistakes men make with their dating profiles, how to fix them, and how to take photos that specifically cater to dating apps, and how to use bios and prompts to set up a frame for a conversation starter, which can be a highly effective strategy if you want a girl to text you first. Now, with all of these things figured out, your profile should finally be optimized. And now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty of the whole process, the texting stage. And that's where step 2 of the match to date process comes in, the simp framework. And look, I know what you're thinking. Isn't simping a bad thing? Why would I want to simp over text? Don't worry, bro. It's just an acronym for the ultimate 4-step process to convert matches into high-interest phone numbers secured. Here are the 4 steps: small talk, intentions, matching her energy, and getting her phone number, SIMP. After all of that hard work optimizing your profile, taking good pictures, and maybe spending some money hiring a photographer in the process, you should be getting a decent amount of likes and matches you could have only dreamed of having. So the last thing you want to do is let all of that hard work go to waste and fumble the messaging stage. The most common mistake I see men make after matching with a woman is going through a platonic conversation and trying to get to know her. Listen closely as I tell you this. The point of a dating app is not to get to know her. It's to get her number. Bear in mind, when you message a woman on a dating app, you're competing with hundreds of other guys on her match list who are probably messaging her the same things you are. So when you make her lose interest and not bag her number as soon as possible, it'll be so easy for her to ignore you. Even if the chat was going well, if she takes a few hours off the app, your chat is going to be buried under dozens of new messages from other guys. But imagine if you could just have a fun, flirty conversation, close her in less than 6 messages, and get her phone number with as minimal chance of rejection as possible. This is exactly what the simp framework is designed for. It helps you use small talk to initiate playful conversations that increase her interest level as high as possible. It helps you know her intentions clearly from the start to check her seriousness level. It helps you match her energy to put you guys on the same page, and it helps you wrap up the conversation quickly to make her give you her phone number. And that's when it's time to take things off the dating app, which is where step 3 comes in. The SLAP framework. Now, if you've gotten her number and gone to the texting stage, it's time to set up the first date. The SLAP framework stands for small talk, logistics, anchor, and plans. And it's easy to remember because if you follow this framework correctly, you're gonna be slapping more ass than you can possibly handle. Now, this is probably the most difficult phase of the whole process. A lot of men come up to me saying that they've gotten her number, but are absolutely clueless to keep that same amount of interest through text while getting to know her at the same time and setting up the date properly. And this is actually a very common problem for men. The reason women flake on first dates is mainly because of 2 reasons. You either get lost in the platonic chit chat instead of figuring out the logistics, or the logistics of setting up the date were bad. Either you didn't take into account what time she's free, or you're suggesting the wrong types of dates. The SLAP framework is the perfect strategy for handling the texting stage outside of the dating app. It's designed to help you utilize small talk and ask questions without her losing interest. It figures out the logistics so that you know when to set up the date, what type of date it should be, and how to anchor all of that information into setting up the perfect date. So there's minimal chances of her ghosting or flaking on you. That way, when you finally make plans, she actually shows up. Now look, I know this sounds like it requires a lot of strategizing and thinking, but trust me, once you learn this framework, you can start setting up dates as soon as tomorrow without any effort. You'll start noticing similar patterns in different women. And from then on, it becomes so easy. And you'll be able to do it with multiple women on a daily basis. This is how you play the game. And it's worth it to learn a skill that can set you up for a lifetime. Now, how did all of these strategies come about and how am I so confident that they work? Well, hey, my name's Hunter. And first off, I am not a pickup artist. I didn't learn what I'm showing you by reading books about game, binging YouTube tutorials, or reading multiple blogs with conflicting views from dating gurus. Everything I know is the result of 7 years of trial and error. I've tried literally everything under the sun, experimenting with hundreds of profile photos, using every pickup line in the world, facing over 1,000 rejections in the process, and talking to many low-quality women. But during those 7 years of trial and error, I started surrounding myself with guys who were always getting laid. I spent hundreds of hours volunteering as a cameraman to master the art of taking badass photos. I even took a part-time job at Victoria's Secret just so that I could get closer to women and understand the opposite sex at a level that most men never will. Fast forward to now, I can confidently say that I've mastered online dating. I know exactly what makes women swipe right and what makes them reject over 80% of men on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. So best believe, what you're learning in this video has not only been battle tested by myself, but the thousands of men I've coached around the world. And the best part is, these strategies keep getting updated to this very day because I'm in the field constantly battle testing new strategies to pull dates with hot women. And luckily for you, you don't have to go through 7 years of trial and error like I did. Welcome to the online dating cheat code. This program is designed to consist of everything I know to teach you how to master online dating in just 14 days, eliminating 7 years of trial and error and all the BS I had to go through to learn the process. It dives deep into the match to date process, teaches you how to implement it, and with these cheat codes, you'll reach the point where you're pulling 3 new dates per week and build a roster of beautiful women that you can choose from. The online dating cheat code consists of 13 different modules and 90 plus value-packed tutorials that not only teach you about navigating online dating, they help you shift your mindset and redefine the way you navigate relationships so that you'll be able to acquire the skill of understanding women, which you can leverage for the rest of your life. This program will give you skills that most men will never learn in a lifetime. So stick with me and pay attention as I reveal to you the secret cheat codes, because this is something that is going to change your dating life forever. We start off with seduction secrets. Let me be straightforward and just tell you the truth. Most men do not understand women. Without even knowing it, they tend to frame themselves in a way that just turns women off. They categorize themselves into the friend zone and they come across as needy or desperate. It happens a lot because most men don't know how the female mind works. This is why I cannot stress how important it is to learn the fundamentals of understanding women, because even with a new set of skills you're going to learn in this program, there are going to be times when you think you did everything correctly. You optimized your profile, you applied the simp and slap frameworks, but still, you're somehow getting ghosted and left on red. When my students send me screenshots of their texts and they end up hitting a brick wall, I can always tell within seconds if they skipped the seduction secrets module. So if you feel like you're one of those men who have very little knowledge about the mind of a woman, you want to learn how to make them absolutely obsess over you and have them chasing you instead of you chasing them, this module is for you. I'm going to teach you how to stop selling yourself through conversations and be the dominant partner between the two of you. I'll teach you about the law of scarcity that's going to make women chase you, the art of teasing women to initiate playful banter, and how to stop being the typical nice guy that women reject. It took suffering thousands of rejections and even sacrificing my dignity by working at a female underwear store just so that I could develop the skills that I packed into this module. And you can skip all of that bullshit and learn it in just a few hours. And once you understand women at a level most guys never will, it's time to go into the next section, which is about maximizing your attractiveness. Before tapping into taking pictures for your profile, you need to look your absolute best. When it comes to looks, for the top 5% and bottom 5% of guys, there is nothing in their control to change the results. The top 5% will win with shitty photos, and the bottom 5% will fail no matter how much work they put in. But for the remaining 90% of men, there are things that are in our control to easily make ourselves more attractive and crush it on dating apps. A lot of guys think that dating apps don't work because they're not conventionally attractive, but most guys can appear 3 to 4 points more attractive by updating their wardrobe alone. And that's what this module teaches. So if you have the mentality that you're ugly or not good looking enough, this is the part of the program where I dive deep into the 7 key attraction points that women look for in a man that are completely within your control and can scale your looks by 4 to 6 points. From your hygiene to your hairstyle to your skincare routine and your dressing style, you'll be able to reach your highest potential in attractiveness. Now, with all that sorted out, it's time to get into the sexy stuff, so buckle up. The next section of the program is where we go into detail about optimizing your profile secrets. You absolutely need to be taught and be aware of the common mistakes that a lot of guys make with their profiles. And I can't stress this enough because there are a lot of guys who are absolutely confident that their pictures are solid, but realistically, they give women literally nothing to work with. Once in a while, I'll put up a story on Instagram and ask guys to send me their profiles. I'll get about 40 to 50 profiles sent to me, and the majority of them don't even have one usable photo for dating apps. Not one. Blurry zoomed out photos from 6 years ago, a random picture of a taco without anyone else in the photo, The list goes on. That's why in this module, I'm gonna teach you the common mistakes that you're probably making with your profile and how to take perfect profile photos. From poses to backgrounds to angles, and I'll even be teaching you how to edit your photos to their maximum potential. I'll be sharing with you the secrets to creating a profile that gives you enough likes and matches to the point where you'll have an abundance of options. It actually gets kind of stressful how many matches you'll get, to the point where you can just filter out all the girls on dating apps who are looking for attention and Instagram followers. I've tested out hundreds of photos with different angles, poses, and backgrounds over the years. And I've worked with the best photographers in the world, all to pack together the fail-proof information that I'm going to share with you in this module. On top of that, we will jump on a one-on-one call to review your profile so you know exactly what's working for you and where to improve. This next part is where the majority of men fumble and the most important section of the entire program: text game secrets. When it comes to having a strategy for dating apps, a lot of guys oversimplify it way too much. They think that all you have to do is send a corny pickup line, text her some get to know you questions, get her number, and boom, set up a date. And it's all willy-nilly from there. And I'm here to tell you right now that it's way more complicated than that. There are going to be a lot of points in this process where you're going to be absolutely fucked if you don't know what you're doing. What are you going to say to her when she sends you a shit test? How are you going to save yourself from digging into a 6-foot hole and forced to come up with recovery texts to bail yourself out? If the conversation gets too dry, how are you going to add life to it before she starts ignoring you? How are you supposed to make the conversation sexual without coming off as creepy? Brick wall after brick wall. Your text game strategy needs to be able to tackle any scenario so that it becomes fail-proof. This is why this module is specifically designed to upgrade your text game so that you can finally get rid of all that pain of losing out on a 10 to 10 match just because you scared her away or bored her to death. I'm going to teach you how to avoid digging yourself into 6-foot holes that are hard to save yourself from and losing out on a potential date. You'll be taught how to determine what level of interest she's in so you can confidently transition into the next important steps. This is where we're going to do a deep dive into the simp and slap frameworks so that you'll learn the different scenarios, where they fit, how to handle different objections, and be given multiple examples of how I and my students use these frameworks to get our results. These frameworks are powerful, but if you don't know exactly what you're doing, there's plenty of room for fuck ups. So I teach you the secrets to give you a high success rate whenever you're texting women and be able to land dates easily, time after time again. Of course, this is not an all theoretical program. That's why I've dedicated an entire module to giving you over 15 match to date text by text examples using everything we've covered so far and showing you step-by-step examples of how I landed dates through these strategies with different types of women, different scenarios, and different dating apps. I even show you some examples of how to land dates through Instagram. This module is where you can see these strategies in action and how you can apply them for yourself in any situation. Now, whether you're looking for a serious relationship, casual hookups, or even just something in the middle, there are different dating apps that are tailored to each of these goals. And that's why I've included 3 additional modules within this program: Advanced Tinder Tactics, Ultimate Hinge Hacks, and the Bumble Bible. So no matter which dating app you use, you're set up for success. I also just added a brand new module called Instagram Secrets. A lot of people claim that Instagram is the best dating app out there, but most guys are using it wrong. The first thing that comes to our mind when we think about Instagram as a dating app is sliding in the DMs, using Instagram as a tool for cold outreach. But the problem is that unless you have 10,000 plus followers, a blue check mark, or some sort of status on Instagram, sliding into the DMs cold is a losing game. Instagram is not a cold outreach tool. It's a nurturing tool. When you're pulling more matches than you could possibly handle, you literally don't have time to get all of their numbers and set up dates with all of these women at the same time. Sometimes you need to put them on the back burner and let them come to you over time. And that's exactly what Instagram Secrets will show you. It'll show you how to optimize your Instagram profile, leverage stories so women slide into your DMs and you're not chasing them on Instagram, and how to go from DM to date without getting lost in weeks of platonic DMs. So now that you're landing dates, you're probably nervous about fumbling the actual physical dates, which happens pretty often. Over the years, I've been on thousands of dates from dating apps, hooked up with hundreds of women, and can get a second date almost every time. I've gone through the motions so many times that it starts to feel repetitive. But still, Women constantly text me the next day saying it's the best date they've had in a long time. The problem is that most guys rarely go on dates. So when they finally get a date with an attractive woman, they have a what could go wrong mindset. Fumble the date before it even happens. But I'm not gonna hold back any of my secrets. That's why I've included an in-depth module where I teach you how to win the first date every time. I'm gonna teach you the common mistakes to avoid, how to prepare for a first date mentally and physically, so you'll be able to get a second date almost every single time. By this point, you'll be landing more dates than you can handle. You'll be landing so many dates to the point where you start rejecting women because you have an abundance of them to pick from. And I'm not gonna lie, this can actually be pretty stressful and make your head spin. And that's why I've created the last and final module and my personal favorite section of this program. I'll be graduating you with teachings on how to manage your abundant dating life with roster secrets. In this module, you'll learn how to build a roster of high interest women, teaching you how to manage multiple dates per week, how to elevate to date even higher value women, and how to progress into a relationship. These are skills that will last you a lifetime. Skills that will pull you out of that 6-foot hole that you might be in right now. Give you an abundant dating life that most guys could only dream of. This isn't theoretical bullshit you'll find online. Everything you're about to get in this program has been battle tested by thousands of men around the world. This program is over 7 years in the making. Over 7 years of trial and error, rejection after rejection, and thousands of interactions with women have led to this moment. But with the online dating cheat code, I'm giving you the opportunity to skip all of these years to figure it out like I did. You can eliminate all of that rejection, take the guesswork out of the equation, and get straight to the results. These cheat codes have a value of over $2,700, and I usually charge $998 for this program. But of course, not everyone has almost $1,000 lying around to invest in a dating program. I get it. So in order to fulfill my mission of changing many men's dating lives forever, teaching my skills to men who have the same goals and desires, and making sure that this is the best online dating community on the internet, like me and my fellow students know it is, I'm gonna give you lifetime access to the online dating cheat code for a one-time payment of only $397. Sounds fair, doesn't it? But it gets better. In addition to getting lifetime access to the online dating cheat code, not a monthly payment, but lifetime access to a community where you join over 100 men who are on the same journey as you. Not only will you have me, but you'll have other wingmen who've mastered the game, readily available to help and guide you. It's also a place where not only can you put your photos up to be reviewed by everyone, but you can also share real-time screenshots of the girls you're texting to get real-time feedback if you're ever feeling stuck and just need some help. You're also gonna get a one-on-one profile review where we privately jump on a one-on-one call, break down your profile in detail so you know exactly what's working for you and what you need to improve. You'll also be getting my setup guides, the matchbook and the textbook, which cost $50 each for absolutely free. I'll also be giving you my 30-point Netflix and chill checklist, which I've used to pull hundreds of women back to my place. And as a neat spare bonus to maximizing your attractiveness, I'll be giving you my wardrobe essentials shopping checklist. And I'm including all of this at no additional cost. And you can get instant access to the online dating cheat code and all of these bonuses right now by clicking the button below this video. I'm so confident that this program will be the single best decision you've ever made that I'm offering you a 14-day money-back guarantee. Just click one button and I will literally return your initial investment if this program didn't work for you. I'm giving you an opportunity to change your dating life forever, to gain newfound confidence with women you never knew you had, an opportunity to sleep with as many women as you want and meet your next girlfriend. You're gonna be one of those top % guys who are crushing it with women and have other guys around you thinking that you're probably using some type of magic and wanting to be just like you. You're gonna separate yourself from the guys who think dating apps are a scam or don't work for the average Joe. You'll be the foolproof example that you're just built different. Talking to and dating women is an important skill set to learn in a man's life. And let's be honest, you have no other option. You're in the dating game whether you want to admit it or not. That's just the reality of things. It's a skill that can help you in many areas of your life you had no idea it could. When you're good with women and get constant validation, it literally changes your outlook on the world. You see the world for what it is. a limitless place of abundance where you take what you want while everyone else just thinks that you're lucky. These skills transcend dating. The confidence you have after waking up from a steamy night with a girl that other guys are simping for literally changes your brain chemistry, bro. Your entire energy shifts and people notice. The guys who figure out their problems with women crush it in every other aspect of their life. They make more money, they have more friends, they're the type of person who wins in life. And everyone wants a part of their success. Once you figure out how to create an abundant dating life, the rest of your life just falls into place too. So it's better to dedicate 2 weeks to learning the game and acquiring a permanent skill set that 99% of men will never learn in a lifetime. Or otherwise, it's many more years of low self-confidence, meeting up with low quality women, having a scarcity of options to pick from, and possibly staying a virgin till a very late age, or settling down with a girl that you don't even like because you just have no options. So as a man, you just have to get better. Time is passing by, society keeps changing, and you're not getting any younger. So it's time to make this small investment that will pay off for the rest of your life. You have a choice, King. Click the button below to enroll, and me and your fellow wingmen will see you on the other side.